So a while ago I made some videos about Kawaki not using his Dojutsu against Boruto in the Timeskip. Many of you theorized it was way too early in the fight for Kawaki to activate the Dharmagan. But now when I think of it seems like there's something fishy going on with Boruto's sword, which makes it immune to Kawaki's Sukona-hikona. That's what we are about to discuss in this video, so subscribe for more Boruto stuff and let's begin. Boruto, wearing his mentor's outfit and using a similar sword in the Timeskip, drops a hint that he's going to learn the Kenjutsu really soon. It seems like Sasuke is gonna be the one to train Boruto in handling the sword fighting technique. Since Court's revenge is coming up soon in the manga and Amado proposes the idea of letting Boruto and Kawaki get stronger, chances are their training arc is just around the corner. But the thing which is confusing here is that Kawaki has got the power to shrink objects with his Dharmagan. Still he lets Boruto fight with his sword. I have already covered the Kawaki side of this theory in a previous video, so check it out later. Moving on to how Boruto got his sword immune to Kawaki's Sukona-hikona, let's take a look at chapter 71, where Buck tells Code that Demon can only use his reflection power when he's holding someone. This flaw of Demon's ability could hint towards the weakness of Kawaki's Dojutsu. The Sukona-hikona might only be able to shrink objects that aren't in the possession of an individual, which means if Boruto drops his sword by mistake, then Kawaki would be able to shrink it easily. Well, this was just a predictable assumption. Now let's talk about something that's way more engrossing. What if the sword of Boruto is alive by any means? And by alive, I mean to say if it has some living being sealed inside of it, which makes it immune to Kawaki's Sukona-hikona. Back in the original Naruto, Hiruzen's person summon Enma could use the transformation jutsu to transform itself into an extending and expanding star. A similar scenario could have happened with Boruto's sword, but instead of a summoning animal, I think the person inside of it is Sasuke. So hear me out. Kawaki in the Timeskip is determined to end the era of shinobis. He has already done something with Naruto and Sasuke is nowhere to be seen. So what if Sasuke willingly offered Boruto to seal his consciousness inside the sword by using a Fuinjutsu similar to the dead demon consuming seal? This would explain why Sasuke is not mentioned in the Timeskip sequence. This possibility also reflects Sasuke's resolve of doing something for the village that he mentioned in chapter 68. Providing an advantage to his student, who is apparently the only hope of shinobis in the Timeskip, would definitely fulfill his resolve. An even deadly version of this theory could be Sasuke almost dying against some enemy, and when Boruto came to his rescue, he taught him to use the Fuinjutsu to seal him inside the sword in order to have an upper hand against Kawaki. Don't forget to comment down which theory makes more sense to you. Another point that needs to be noted here is that Kawaki doesn't even activate his Dharma Eye during the flash forward scene. This could be because he already knows that Sasuke has sealed himself inside Boruto's sword, so it's totally useless to activate the Dharma Eye. I believe Aida is by Kawaki's side in the Timeskip. That's how we got to know about such important detail about Boruto's sword. Now the question is how Sasuke ended up on the possibility of sealing himself into Boruto's sword. Well, if we go plot wise, Amado must have completely manipulated Kawaki in his favor, so the good guys also need a strong scientist in their team, and you all know who it's gonna be. It's Orochimaru. The similarity between Mitsuki's Sage Mode and Toneri Otsutsuki definitely proves that Orochimaru has some hidden Otsutsuki knowledge, and if things go down this lane, then I'm pretty sure that Orochimaru will help Boruto in handling the powers of the Jougan, cause after all the Pure Eye has some link with Toneri, and the appearance of Mitsuki's Sage Mode adds a lot of sense to this theory. With the introduction of new cyborgs with horrendous powers, it seems like the show is turning into an aliens versus human type of series with a huge number of surprises on its way. There are also other possibilities like what if their battle includes some rules and regulations that they mutually agreed upon? But if that was the case, then Boruto wouldn't have activated his Jougan. Or maybe the Jougan has nullified the powers of Kawaki's eye, and that's why he's using a weapon against the Red Karma wielder, without the fear of getting it shrinked. Right now we don't have enough evidence to support this theory, but since the Jougan is known as the Pure Eye, it might have something to do with the purification of other Dojutsu. Here are some more videos that I'm sure you will enjoy, so subscribe and don't forget to check them out, and I will see you next time.